to attend. So you'll attend one table for 5 minutes, then move on to another table for 5 minutes until you've rotated around 5 tables. When you've completed that session, most of the presenters will be staying up after they get session for lunch. So if you find you didn't get to see the service provider that you wanted, you may be able to track them at lunch. Also, the information from these providers will be linked from the website. The providers are CFA, Pay, Wait, Advanced John, Waycard, BCAA Cornelia, Vala Leonard, Consumer Affairs Shane, Len Ross, up the back, Youth Connections Claudia, Duke of Edinburgh Ward 6, and Vala Safety 1, Luke. Are you ready? Each provider has a set of resources and a 5-minute chat. You need to move to one of the 9 tables now, please.
With resources, all free, all downloadable, all mapped to bells and VCal for you. The series, which is now 8 in the series, started off with commerce and other things. This is the whole package. For some reason there's 2 green ones. Who forgot the purple one? I did. There's also a fabulous one which you have got. Hello, Graham Linus. You know, that tie is shocking, right?
It is. I just wanted to impress you.
That is awful. We've also got this Applied Learning Handbook, which is a special one, which we don't advertise widely. Upper primary one, for those literally low numeracy, there's a great thing called opportunity cost in this, which I do with even academics. It's a great basis on making sure every kid in your group can master the basic before you then use that as an example of an applied task. Also got this one great now, responsible gambling one, which we did with the OGR. That's fabulous. We've moved now into this, which is an absolute belter. If you go to our website, and I'll show you the direct link, this is streaming live. There are 8 great little clips, very engaging, done by young kids, young mothers clubs, and shows you how to use film in your room. Why are we promoting film? I don't know. Why? Graham, that's right. Because we want you to use the context for your film, drama, literacy, numeracy, PDS, the context to be a consumer issue. Every kid and you consume 24/7. It's an absolute no-brainer. Kids love mobile phones, talking about mobile phones, buying a car, renting a house, shopping rides, all these type of things, contractual problems I have with traders. So what you do is you have the context being consumerism, and then the skill development being literacy, numeracy, film, drama, whatever, is all overlaid upon that. And that's how we want to see this stuff being done. Order forms are easy. You can order either that, or I'll give you each one of those and you can go and view. They're all downloadable, all chunked. You can take a chapter, you can take an exercise, the whole lot. As for a testimonial, Graham Linus, what do you reckon, Graham? There's also a great VCal comp, which is just this year's one closed. I think it's the only comp just for VCal kids I've heard of. Great prizes, an applied learning approach to how to make a product which has a consumer message for young consumers, rap songs, video clips, anything using new technology. And next year, we're moving into the non-school based, hush hush secret, the non-school based. That's why I'd love to be here, because we want to trial really resources for those kids who we know are not, 15% of kids who are not in a mainstream school at age 16 to 18. We want to move into that area and develop some really good, engaging resource. I love that software program you're doing. That really cool. We're looking for partners for next year to maybe pilot some great program. Have an order form. Pass those around to your right. Pass these around to your left. Don't give Graham one, because he knows where I live. Are you ready? That gives you the direct link to our school site. We also have a thing called Pi, which is a little directory of all the other groups that give you materials. So I've been madly trying to fold those, but you can fold them yourself. These two people have folded one. Also, I'll give you my business card, which you can send to your right, which means when you ring, CAB also has some other stuff. For example, lots of stuff on cars. If you do anything on cars, 15 seconds. Right? Another one of those, yeah. So you should have an order form, you should have my business card, and you should have the little hi, this is where you go to see our resources. Have you got one of those?
These days the media is actually throwing at us that the world's a pretty scary place. We want to empower young people to be much more in control of what they do. I guess that's one of the reasons why you're actually here. So let's look at how we can hook them into, how we can engage young people in becoming more proactive about their safety. We could be like Alice and not know which way we're going and therefore not have a plan, but the important thing about surviving has been shown by research from 9/11 and from Hurricane Katrina, where it proved that young people really do want to know what to do. They really can be very capable, and we need to give them the tools to do that. So maybe one of the tools that you could be using is, I've got it here somewhere, the Red Cross Emergency Ready Plan. If you were to contact me on that email address, I can provide you with a lot more resources, but one of which is a link to the Red Cross Emergency Ready Plan or the Personal Emergency Plan that these 4 young teenagers who produced this booklet have created. These 4 young teenagers are a great example for inspiring other young people. They started out with a desire to go to the Albertine School. They had lived through both the flood and fire themselves, and so what they decided to do was survey all the other teenagers in their school to find out what sort of things they'd found difficult, how they communicated, what they wanted to know more about. Your young people could be using mobile to create a survey to find out what other young people know about how to deal with emergencies, whether they've got a bushfire plan. Everybody who lives in Victoria needs to have a bushfire safety plan, whether you're living in Melbourne or whatever, because you all go to weddings, you go on trips, you go visiting people down the beach. Coastal Heathrow burns hotter and very intensely than lots of things. So these 4 young teenagers lived through flood and fire, surveyed other people in their schools, went to the Alpine School and decided to write this book. They not only, originally it just was a simple Word document, but someone encouraged them to go that step further and find some funding to get it right. When they did that, they actually discovered that they could then create an expo where they gave young people what they'd asked for in the survey. So they wanted to know about how to look after their pets, how to look after their younger brothers and sisters, how to do first aid when people were smoking people, that sort of thing. And so they ran a great big emergency services expo, which gave other young people what they were asking for in the survey. So your young people could be creating a survey, using their mobile phones, using cameras, using video, using email to distribute the survey, bringing that evidence back to you, and then you analyse the data to find out where the gaps are, what young people really want in that area, and your group could actually be creating and making a difference, not only to their own safety by creating their own personal emergency or ready plan, but they could also be helping other people in their families and around the workplace that they might be in. So I've put together a little, I suppose, a couple of activities with some YouTube clips for them to do. I don't know if there's enough to go around. I didn't do very many, thinking that maybe not lots of people would be interested in CFA. Okay, if you just take one. At this stage, it can't come unregistered, but if you contact me on that email address, there are 3 CDs that are full of ideas of ways that you could. Now, it doesn't mean that there'll be CFA people available to actually support you in your area, but you can work with a huge number of agencies, or it might even just be about determining who it is that can support them, who's responsible for safety. There's a whole range of ways that you can pursue this. So it might be looking at the Shire and what they do to support the safety. It might be looking at laws. It depends on the interests of your students. And I guess that's the key thing here, that you need to be looking at what is it that turns them on, what are the things that they're really interested in. And so that's one of the reasons why we put together these CDs that throw up a whole lot of ideas just